Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Hearts. I'm your host, Jessica Holland. I named this episode Extensions of You. Originally, how this episode came about is actually really simple. I was thinking about it's time to cut my hair. It's time to get the dead ends trimmed. And it takes a special person like me to make things complicated and to to overthink a little question at times. So when it came time to schedule that hair appointment, I kind of had a little bit of a pushback. I didn't want to cut my hair. I didn't want to cut my hair because it had gotten so long. Then I really began to ask myself, why truly don't I want to cut my hair? What goes beyond just aesthetics and being able to put it in a hair clip when I don't want to mess with it? And when I think about something, I think about it in a way that is formulated in a series of questions. Because what better way to find something out than by just asking yourself questions to kind of get to the root of things. No pun intended. Sorry, not funny. So then when I began to ask myself, Jessica, why wouldn't you want your hair cut? You go to the hair salon and you get your scalp massage and you get it washed or hair washed, all that good stuff. And you feel a little bit lighter. You can use a little bit of less shampoo afterwards. Once again, when I asked myself, why don't I want to get my hair cut? I really realized that it is because it is an extension of me. And I was like, I wonder if other people feel the same way about their hair, like it's an extension of them. I know different cultures, like Native American cultures, they cherish their hair, like almost keeps track of memories. And for them, a lot of the times these haircuts, they're just reserved for just life transitions. Something that other cultures, we just think about a haircut like going to the salon. But they believe that the hair just carries such profound energy. And I just thought it was so interesting that it's sometimes even buried, like shedding an identity almost, I guess, in a way. I had to fact check myself on this because originally I read a children's book at the library and it was about the Native American traditions, but I guess it really does happen. And the haircuts represent just significant times during a person's life. And it's just so special. I just thought that was so neat and so beautiful at the same time. And then I began to think about Hoarders. I began to think about that show Hoarders. I don't know if anybody has ever seen it, where you have the individual that has trouble just throwing away something that to others might look like trash and might not even have any significant value. But to that person, it is so important to them. And it hurts them. It hurts them to throw it away. It hurts them to get rid of it. And I remember watching an episode of Hoarders where there was actually a little girl living with her grandparents. And she was like, there's only one little pathway around the whole house. And when it came down to trying to get the grandmother to throw away things, everything had some type of meaning behind it. And the office that they had in the home was covered in paper. I mean, paper that even when they tried to get rid of it, she was stating that she accidentally printed the wrong thing, but she still had the paper. She still had the misprinted paper and she didn't want to get rid of it. And I just thought that was so sad. I was like, oh, the reason why it's so hard for them is because they perceive it as an extension of them, an extension of themselves. Now, obviously, I've never gone through anything of that nature, so I don't know the odds and ends about that. But I'm like, wow, to perceive so many things as an extension of oneself, I can only imagine how much energy that is taking from the individual. Then I began to evaluate things that I consider an extension of me. And I'm not talking about items within my home. Sure, there are things of that nature that I have that carry memories. But at the same time, I begin to take a look into my life. Well, my son is an extension of me. He carries great significance, and essentially, he carries my legacy. And since I touched base on how he is an extension of me, I was like, oh my goodness, that is why at times one person feels like it may be hard to let go of people, places, and things, because we make it an extension of ourselves. We make it an extension of ourselves to the point where our body feels different when it does not go to a certain place, or if you take the same route to work every single day, even that route is an extension of you. So you feel out of place when there's construction and you have to take a whole different route. You feel indifferent about it, like your routine is off. I feel like it goes beyond just muscle memory, because these places and these things, they become extensions of us. And if you don't know how to let go of something, then these things can truly weigh us down. And the great part about it is that there is something that we can do about it when we recognize it. But sometimes the ego just blinds us to these things. That's when it can get a little bit dangerous. Not in a sense of like, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble, but dangerous in terms of like, for the good of you, if it's time to move on to the next level. And your ego is blinding you if it's time to go to the next job, if it's time to move on to a different friendship, if it's time to move on from a relationship that may not be so healthy for you. These things that we may consider extensions of us, that the ego might fight back on us. I think it begins with us letting go of the ideology that it is an extension of us. And why? Why is a certain place an extension of you? Why is a certain item an extension of you? Why is that person an extension of you? Sometimes it may be hard to let go of a person because they were there for you during a time where you really needed a friend. You may even feel like you owe them something because they were there for you for so many things. It might not be longevity, but it can be emotionally, and that carries weight when somebody is there for you. And if it is time to let go, you might be like, no, circumstances are not telling me to let go of this person. That might be our ego lying to us. But once again, you have discernment, you have intuition, and you have wonderful tools that can assist to help you identify, is it time to let go of this friendship? Is it time to let go of this job? Is it time to let go of this relationship? What role am I playing in? What kind of interaction is it bringing out of me? And is keeping this place or these people an extension of me, allowing me to become my best self? Or is it hindering me from becoming my best self? It made me think of, oh my goodness, I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard it in this podcast. Oh, I wish I could give credit to them. I don't remember. The guy on the podcast said that nothing becomes a thing or an entity until you give it a name. Once you give it a name, you bring it to life. You give it an extension. So it just goes to show how much power we truly have over our lives. If you feel like your life is out of control, never fear. You are at the right place at the right time. We're always taught when we were children how to pronounce words and how to speak properly. But sometimes we weren't taught how to speak to our situations or what to speak to our situations. And we have more control of how we want our life to look like. And I just want you to know that No matter what you consider an extension of you, it's there for a purpose, whether we can learn from it or whether we can grow from it. Wait, that might be the same thing. That's okay. Let me leave you guys with a couple affirmations. Let's see. I have the power to choose the contents of my life, and I have the power to release old habits that no longer serve my highest good and replace them with good ones. I hope to see you next time on Healing Hearts. Thank you for making me a part of your day. And if this episode helped you, just pass it along. You never know what might come of it.